"I don't need God," he said with a smirk. "And I definitely don't need someone preaching to me at work." She looked at him calmly. "I wasn't preaching," she replied softly. "You asked." He rolled his eyes. That was the day she decided she would never like him. 6 months later, he would be on his knees, praying for a second chance. When Olivia joined the marketing firm, she quickly became known for two things: her discipline and her faith. She didn't hide it. She didn't force it either. She simply lived it. No gossip. No flirting games. No cutting corners. Then there was Ethan. Brilliant, confident, slightly arrogant. The kind of man who walked into meetings like he owned the building. He didn't believe in God. He believed in results, deadlines, logic. "Faith is a crutch," he once said casually during lunch. "People use it when they can't handle reality." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Or maybe," she replied calmly, "it's strength people use when reality is hard." Their co-workers went silent. Ethan smirked. "Well, let me know when your prayers close the deal." She should have ignored him, but something about him irritated her deeply. Not because he disagreed, but because he dismissed. A week later, their boss made the announcement. "For the Henderson campaign, I want Ethan and Olivia leading the project together." Silence. They both spoke at the same time. "Seriously?" Their boss laughed. "You're both the best. Figure it out." And just like that, they were forced into partnership. The first week was a battlefield. He worked late. She worked early. He challenged every idea she proposed. She refused to back down. "You're too idealistic," he said one evening, leaning against her desk. "And you're too cynical," she shot back. He smirked. "You really think God cares about ad campaigns?" "No," she replied calmly, "but he cares about integrity." That word lingered longer than he expected. Integrity. As days passed, tension shifted. Not softer, just different. They began respecting each other's strengths. She admired his creativity. He noticed her consistency. One night, they were the last two in the office. Rain hit the windows heavily. The power flickered briefly. "Afraid?" he teased lightly. "Of storms?" she asked. "No, of being wrong." She paused. "About what?" "About God." She studied his face. For the first time, there was no mockery, just curiosity. "I'm not afraid of being wrong," she said gently. "I'm afraid of living without hope." He didn't answer, but something shifted that night. Over the next few weeks, their conversations became less combative, more personal. He asked about her church, about why she believed. She asked about his past. He rarely opened up, until one evening. "My dad used to preach," he said suddenly. She blinked in surprise. "What?" "Before he left, before he cheated, before he walked out on us." Silence filled the room. "So don't tell me faith makes people good," he said quietly. "I've seen the opposite." Her heart softened. "Faith doesn't make people perfect," she whispered. "It reveals who's pretending." He looked at her differently after that. Less defensive, more thoughtful. The project brought them closer. Late night brainstorming, shared coffee runs, accidental laughter. He began noticing things. The way she prayed silently before presentations. The way she encouraged interns. The way she never spoke badly about anyone. One afternoon, he caught himself staring at her across the conference table. Not annoyed, not amused, admiring. He shook the thought away. This is ridiculous. But it wasn't. One evening, as they wrapped up a major milestone, he said quietly, "You're not what I expected." She smiled faintly. "Neither are you." The air between them felt charged, but complicated, because she knew something he didn't. She was falling for him, and that terrified her. He didn't believe. He mocked what she loved most. So she did what she always did. She prayed, "God, I need clarity." She sat on her bed that night, heart racing. "I can't fall for someone who doesn't love you." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "If he's not for me, remove this feeling." But the feeling didn't leave. It grew, So she whispered something bold. God, if he is the one, show me. Change his heart. Not because of me, but because of you. The next week, something unexpected happened. Ethan didn't mock her during lunch. He asked questions, real ones. Do you actually believe God speaks? Yes. How? Through peace, through conviction, through change. He looked unsettled. Days later, he showed up at her desk holding 2 coffees. I Googled a church. Her heart skipped. And they meet Sunday at 10, right? She froze. Why? He shrugged. Curiosity. That Sunday he didn't go, but he thought about it. The following week, during a high-stress meeting, a client unfairly blamed Olivia for a delay. Ethan surprised everyone. It wasn't her fault, he said firmly. It was mine. She looked at him, shocked. Later, she asked why he did it. He shrugged. Integrity, right? Her heart swelled. One night, after another long work session, he walked her to her car. Why do you care about me? He asked suddenly. She swallowed. Because you matter. No, he said quietly. Why do you care about my soul? She hesitated, then answered honestly. Because I see who you could be. Something in him broke. The next Sunday, he showed up at church. Not for her. At least, that's what he told himself. He sat in the back, arms crossed, guard up. The sermon was about forgiveness, about fathers, about bitterness. He felt exposed. He left quickly afterward, but he didn't feel the same. That week, he avoided mocking her. Instead, he wrestled internally. He began reading quietly at night, listening to sermons privately, not telling her. One evening, he asked, if God forgives, does he really forget? She looked at him softly. Yes. He exhaled slowly. A few days later, she knelt again beside her bed. God, I asked for a sign. Her voice trembled. If he's for me, draw him to you. The next morning, her phone buzzed early. It was him. Can we talk? They met at a quiet park before work. He looked different, not dramatic, but humbled. I went back, he said quietly, to church. Her heart pounded, and I don't know how to explain it. He swallowed hard, but I felt something. He looked at her, eyes unguarded. I don't want to mock what I don't understand anymore. Tears filled her eyes. I'm not converting for you, he continued. I'm searching because I'm tired of being angry. That was the moment she knew. This wasn't performance. It was transformation. Months passed. He grew steadily, not perfectly, but sincerely. He apologized for past comments, started attending church consistently, asked questions without pride. One evening, he took her hands. I used to think faith was weakness, he said softly, but watching you, it's strength. Her heart melted. I don't deserve you, he added. She smiled gently. This isn't about deserving. It's about choosing. He inhaled slowly. I'm choosing God, and I'm choosing you. Their first kiss wasn't rushed. It was tender, reverent, a promise. A year later, he proposed in the same office where they once argued. I mocked your faith, he said, kneeling, but your faith changed me. She laughed through tears. Yes, on their wedding day, as she walked down the aisle. She remembered the nights she cried, asking God for clarity. He stood at the altar, not cynical, not defensive, but surrendered. During his vows, he said softly, you showed me a God I didn't want to believe in until I saw him in you. And when they were pronounced husband and wife, she felt peace flood her completely. He mocked her faith until he fell in love. But more than that, he found faith for himself. And sometimes, the greatest love story begins with disagreement and ends in surrender.